Good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolfe, Nick Wright, Kevin Wilds, and I am the worst at keeping secrets. We got some big news for you this morning. I can't keep it, I'm just going to tell you. We have a new co-host. He is here with us. He is going to join us momentarily. He's one of our favorite people at Fox Sports. I'm going to give you a hint. That is what I do. Much like Cher and Kanye and Madonna and Oprah, the guy goes by one name. That's how popular he is. I'm so excited. Kevin Wilds.
Well, I'm excited too. All I've heard is that he's funny, he's brilliant, his name starts with a B, and he loves the Clippers. So, Nick, I'm thinking Billy Crystal, buddy. Billy Crystal, welcome to the show. What a huge Hollywood star.
Yes.
Here's what I'll say about the man Jenna's about to introduce. I think America already knows he is, and it pains me to say this, the best basketball analyst in America. It pains me because one day maybe that'll be me, but currently it's him. What America, unless they listen to his brilliant radio show in the evenings on Fox Sports Radio, what they don't know is his favorite sport might actually be football. I've sat with him 10 feet from where I'm sitting right now, many a Sunday, and watched football. And he's as often wrong about the NFL as he is about the NBA. Jenna, tell America who this person is.
Let us not wait a second longer. I'm a terrible waiter. Ladies and gentlemen, our new co-host here on First Things First, Chris Broussard. Broussard.
Yeah.
Welcome, buddy.
My goodness.
I will never call you. Great to have you. What an intro.
Thank you for that huge introduction. You know, I love all you guys. I'm so excited. I love everyone on this show, even Nick. And Nick, you wore a tie in honor of me. This is only the second time I've ever seen you with a tie on the show. I love it. Thank you.
I'm going to, listen, and I'm going to make a deal before we get started. I'm going to wear a tie every day until you defeat me in a debate. So, Wilds, it's going to be ties for life for your old buddy Nick Wright, it looks like. But as soon as it happens, we'll go back to no ties, Jenna.
Then we should start Jordan versus LeBron and just dive right into the biggest debate you guys have ever had. We will not do that. Instead, we will kick off this Monday morning. There you go. In the NFL, they wrapped up the preseason last night, meaning, guys, Broussard, we are on to the big games, but not before a little analysis of what we saw last night. All right, here we go. Giants, Patriots, all New England eyes focused on the quarterbacks. Cam Newton started for the third straight game, played just 2 series, 2 for 5, 10 yards and a pick. He played with the starters. Then Matt came on. He played with the backups. 1 touchdown, but he led 3 touchdown drives total. Mac making one final push for QB1. Take a listen.
Do you think you've played well enough to be the starter?
What'd you say?
Do you think you've played well enough to be the starter?
I mean, I've gotten a lot of opportunities to play, and I can improve on everything that I want to improve on. So I think just learning from Hoyer, Cam, Jarrett, anybody I can, and just listening to Josh and his coaching. There's a lot of work to do, but I think I've made progress. But honestly, it's just the only thing that matters is today. And then tomorrow, I'll focus on tomorrow. But I think the past is the past, and we're kind of moving on to the new season here.
Have you made a decision on who will start at quarterback in the regular season opener?
Yeah, no, we still have a lot of decisions to make.
What are you hoping to see in the next couple weeks of practice, Bill, before that first game from the quarterback position to help you make that decision whenever the time comes?
Yeah, well, we'll be focused on preparing for Miami, so that's what we'll do.
We should mention the reason you did not hear from Cam last night. Cam was not made available to the media. But Broussard, let's start with you. Which quarterback deserves to be the Patriots' Week 1 starter, Cam Newton or Mac Jones?
All right, I look at this quarterback competition like a heavyweight championship fight, which means that the opponent has got to win, or the challenger has to win decisively to get the decision. If it's close, if it's a tie, even if the challenger may have a slight advantage, you still go with the incumbent champion because he has to get beat decisively. And in this race, it's been very tight. You saw the numbers. We could make an argument that Mac Jones has actually outplayed Cam in the preseason. But remember, of course, he's played more than twice as many possessions as Cam has. He's played against lesser competition than Cam has. So with that said, right now, if I'm the Patriots, I'm starting Cam Newton. All right, and there are a number of reasons why I say this. One is that Cam looks like in the preseason, what you read about in training camp, like he's been better, like he's got a better grasp of the offense. He's throwing the ball better. He looks better in the few little preseason series that we've seen him in. And remember, last year, he played well. He was 2-1. He was a yard away from having the Patriots at 3-0 if they maybe win that game against Seattle. And then COVID struck. And he admitted that COVID took him down for a while. And so I want to see, if I'm the Patriots, how much of last season's poor play after COVID was actually the COVID, or was that just Cam not having anything left? He's a leader on that team. The coaches love him. The players love him. And it's an easy transition from Cam to Mac Jones if Cam struggles. It's a tough transition from Mac to Cam if the rookie struggles. I don't expect the Cam to keep it the whole season, but I would give him the start, Nick.
Well, that last part I think's key, and I'll get to that in a moment. But to further your analogy, Broussard, to me, if this is a boxing match, the title was vacated, and it's two guys, neither of whom comes in the champion, neither of whom is the incumbent. I know Cam was there last year, but it's not like he has a long history of high-level play with this organization to where he really has to be beaten out the way, for example, Joe Flacco, even though Flacco had not been good in a number of years, he had won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, he'd been there for a decade, so Lamar was going to have to really, really run away with it if he was going to be the week 1 starter. And I'm shocked I'm saying this because Cam Newton is one of my favorite players over the last 10 years.
Always has been.
I've always defended Cam in the face of what I thought had been in the past unfair criticism. And I've never been that high on Mac Jones. When we were talking about him going third to the Niners, I thought it was an absurdity. I don't know that I see star quarterback in Mac Jones' future. But I think Mac Jones should be the Patriots' week 1 starter, and I think so for 3 reasons. One is what Broussard said at the end. I think everyone on this panel is going to say, yeah, we think at some point Mac Jones will be the starter. Well, if that's the case, then it's hard for me to make the argument not to have that some point be immediately. The second point is something Broussard said, and we can show the numbers. Mac Jones did outplay Cam Newton this preseason. Now, he did have more opportunities, and he was doing it against inferior level competition, but he did play better, and he protected the football, which is your biggest concern with a rookie quarterback. But the last reason is this, Wilds. The availability question with Cam is a massive one. Last year, he was either ineffective because he was injured or he's not that good anymore. Pick which one, what door you want to walk through. Either one's not great. If he's not that good anymore, that's a problem. But if it's because, his shoulder wasn't totally right, that's a different type of problem. So you do have an injury concern with Cam that's higher than Mac Jones. But the other part of the availability is there is no logical reason to believe Cam's COVID protocol snafu from a week ago is his last one. There's no reason to sit here and say, yep, that was the one stumbling block, COVID, which derailed his year last year. This year has already been a problem. It hadn't even started yet. That we're not going to have that problem again. Meanwhile, Mac Jones vaccinated, so the odds of him having to deal with it is far lower. So for those reasons, I'd bite the bullet, start a rookie quarterback against Brian Flores and that excellent Dolphins defense, and hit the ground running and keep Cam involved. Keep Cam involved with Cam Newton-centric packages, particularly in short yardage in the red zone, so he's a major part of your offense.
Yeah, so I do think that Cam is going to be involved when Mac Jones takes over, but I think Cam starts week 1. And Broussard, you said it was like a heavyweight fight. I did too, but a little bit differently. I viewed it as like a versus battle, like Locks versus Dipset. I'm expecting great things out of Cam, but I'm not going to be shocked if I end up a little bit disappointed. Like, thought you were going to show up a little bit better here for week 1, 2, and 3. So here's the thing. I start Cam. I ride with Cam, and we always know we're going to go to Mac Jones eventually. Cam got benched 3 times last year, and after every benching, Bill Belichick came out and said, you know what? Cam's still our guy. Cam's still our guy. Cam's still our guy. Even this year, after they drafted Mac Jones, Cam's our guy. And then I think earlier this month, he was like, hey, who's your guy? He's like, I've said it before, Cam's our guy. He started all 3 games. Cam is going to be the starter. The question, Broussard, and you sort of brought it up, hinted at it, when do you want to go to Mac Jones? If Cam's winning, I think we stay with Cam. The biggest question to me is if Cam loses, if Cam is ineffective, what's that gray area where it's like, let's keep Cam. He didn't play great, but I still want him in. We know that Saints defense is going to be brutal, and then you got Brady in the next one. That will be a fascinating turn here. If he struggles against the Saints, and then you also have a great Tampa defense coming in with Tom Brady, do you make a move there? I would love, personally, just for the emotional stakes of it, to see Mac Jones versus Brady week 4.
Well, I doubt that'll be Mac Jones' first game, first start. I think Cam should have a very short leash. And initially, I was thinking, look, if he doesn't get it done against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses in the league, then right there, if he looks bad in the first 2 games, remember, they're trying to win this year. This is not about just finding who your quarterback of the future is. This is all that money they spent, $150 million plus. This is about winning. So if he doesn't do anything against the Jets and maybe they lose that game, I was thinking after that, I'm going to Mac Jones. But here's the problem. As you said, you got the Saints week 3. I don't want him playing Brady in his first game week 4. After Tampa Bay week 4, 6 of their next 7 opponents had losing records and missed the playoffs last year. That would be the time to put Mac Jones in, and then maybe he has a nice run and gets them in the playoff hunt.
Broussard, I was about to thank you for your time today, and then I realized, not leaving. Ever. You're here for the long haul. I love it. It's great to have you. Way to kick off.
50-year contract.
Way to kick off our show this morning. 15-year contract. I'd like to get me some of that. Off and running with Broussard. Back to his big love, basketball. Rajon Rondo reportedly heading back to the Lakers. So what does this mean for their title hopes? Talk about that next. First things first. We're moving on. Play a little draw in a blank. She's going to come flying in right now. Talking some Lakers this morning. School can't start soon enough. Nick, your guy, Rajon Rondo, might be coming back to your team. Woj reported the 35-year-old point guard likely to sign with the Lakers after getting bought out by the Grizzlies. Broussard, we're going to let Nick collect his thoughts. Start with you. Rajon Rondo rejoining the Lakers would be blank.
Well, I'm going to go apropos, all right, because Rajon Rondo's 35 years old. He'll be in his 16th season. He will fit right in with these old Lakers. I mean, they're the oldest team in the league. They're one of the oldest teams we've ever seen. They're actually 5 Lakers older than Rondo. All right, so this is perfect for the Lakers. But all that said, I actually like the move because they're not expecting much. If they were bringing him in to do something, to really think, okay, Rondo's the missing piece, they'd be in trouble. We saw that with the Clippers last year. We saw it with the Hawks where he played. But they're bringing him in not even as insurance. They're bringing him in as just a bonus. If he gives us anything, great. I think he's the 4th point guard. You got LeBron, you got Westbrook, you got Kendrick Nunn. So whatever Rondo gives him, it'll be great. He is a very smart basketball player, so he'll help. Even if he's not on the floor, he'll help guys with their IQ. I got to see how Nick turns this. Because Nick was destroying Rondo when he went to Atlanta last year, when he went to the Clippers last year. You said he had nothing left. You are not going to say that now. You're going to love this. I want to see you turn this.
No. So listen, was I right about him being terrible in Atlanta? Yes. Was I right about him being bad with the Clippers? Oh, playoff Rondo. Wait for playoff Rondo. You mean DNP-CD playoff Rondo. Sit on the bench, Rondo. We're trying to win these series. 4 points, 4 assists a game in the playoffs, Rondo. except for, with respect to David Blaine, Chris Angel, and David Copperfield, the greatest magician in the world is one LeBron James. Oh, Dwight Howard, old and washed. Come play with me, win a title and help. Leave. And now you're washed again. Come back and help. Oh, Rondo, you had one good playoff series in a decade. Come play with me. You're hitting threes. You're critical in the championship run. Leave. Oh, you're washed again. Come on back home, buddy, and you'll be good again. It is, I'm telling you right now, it's a magic trick that only one man could pull off. So it is, when you see LeBron Magic, you're like, Nick, the first and the fourth best players ever, LeBron Magic? Well, yes and no. This one, I mean actual magic, like I'm going to make this rabbit pull out of my hat, except instead of a rabbit out of the hat wilds, it's Rondo being useful on a basketball court for the first time in a decade. Only LeBron can do it. So you're right, Broussard. I do like this move for one team and one team only, the team that employs LeBron James.
All right.
I think
love this move.
Sign with the Lakers, and Nick would love it. I think he'd love it.
Of course. Anyone who signs with the Lakers, it's the LeBron pixie dust. Everybody would be good all of a sudden. Rondo's going to be great. Oh. Jason Kidd's gone. Jared Dudley's gone. So he's sort of like the coach on the bench. Also, an added benefit, less texts for Russ. We look at Russ has got a little interesting history with Rondo. Remember in the bubble, Russ ended up yelling at Rondo's brother. Remember this? Oh, he's shooting and Rondo's brother starts waving goodbye to him. Russ stops the game, starts to go argue with him. Hey, what's going on? Rondo's brother ends up getting ejected. Then later on, when Rondo's with the Hawks, they get into it. Russ gets thrown out of that game. So now that Russ is on the team, less techs overall for the Lakers. Savvy pickup.
Yeah. By the way, you guys all laughed at me. Show me the lie. I'm just curious. Someone show me where I'm wrong. The guy like, oh, Kevin Love, LeBron's there. You're a champion. LeBron's not there. You're
Andre Drummond.
Totally irrelevant. Like
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond.
There you go.
Andre Drummond, please. LeBron was hurt, and I told you that was a bad pickup from the beginning. Andre Drummond. He was good before LeBron.
I thought it was Magic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. That's why he got bought out by the Cavs. Yeah, Andre Drummond's long history of winning. Get out of here. Andre Drummond.
The phrase "show me the lie," wildly underrated. It is a great phrase.
Thank you, Jenna.
I want to use more of it, and I like your use of it, Nick. Let's talk some Buffalo Bills. Should their quarterback, of course, Josh Allen, on fuego. Josh Allen actually be the favorite to win MVP this season? Nick's going to get on fuego next, I'm sure. First things first.
It's a Dan Patrick copy.
Time to run the no huddle. Talking quarterbacks on the move. My guy Gardner Minshew headed to Philadelphia. Eagles traded a conditional 6th-round pick to Jacksonville for Gardner after Gardner, was on the losing end of that quarterback battle in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. I'm sure nobody saw that coming. All right, Nick, what'd you make of the Eagles acquiring Gardner Minshew?
All right, this is the rare hate this for both teams trade. Hate it for Jacksonville, because how the hell is the best you could do for Gardner Minshew, who's got like 37 touchdowns, 11 picks in his career, a conditional 6th? Bad job by them. Then you might be like, well, then Nick, you love the value for the Eagles. Yeah, Gardner's worth way more than a 6th-round pick. But what are you doing, Philadelphia? Let's just go through the timeline here. You have Carson Wentz. You are so, ambivalent on Wentz. You spend a 2nd-round pick on Jalen Hurts. You then say, we'll eat the $34 million of Wentz's money because we're giving the job to Jalen Hurts. Okay, listen, Jalen hasn't proven it yet, but you want to go all in on him. You're getting rid of Wentz, who, was your franchise guy. Fine. You have a backup in Flacco. You had a 3rd-stringer in Nick Mullins, who he was terrible this preseason, but was probably the most accomplished 3rd-stringer in football. And now you're bringing in Gardner, to compete with Jalen? This makes no sense whatsoever. For the Colts, it would have made sense. Carson is hurt. Now, Carson doesn't like quarterback competition. For the Cowboys, it would make sense. They don't have a backup quarterback. Yep. A lot of teams, it would make sense to trade for Gardner Minshew. But to me, it feels like you're undercutting the Jalen Hurts era before it even begins. Gardner's a fan favorite. He might be better than Jalen. It is perplexing to me, Broussard, that the Eagles are doing this right now as opposed to putting all their efforts into seeing what Jalen Hurts can be.
Well, the scuttlebutt out there, Nick, is that maybe, just maybe, Philadelphia brought in Gardner Minshew as insurance if they go ahead and try to trade for Deshaun Watson, and then he can't play or something like that. So if that's the case, obviously you understand it. If Hurts would be in the trade to go to Houston and you don't get Watson because of his legal issues, now you can play Minshew. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not mad at this. This is not them drafting Jalen Hurts when they already had Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz had proven not only that he could be a starter in this league, but he could play at an MVP level. All right, Hurts hasn't proven anything. Hurts is 1-3 as a starter. Hurts, as bad as Wentz was last year, you could argue he played better than Jalen Hurts did. Hurts only completed 52% of his passes. And I like Hurts. I see a lot of Dak Prescott in him. I see the intangibles. I see the leadership. I see the winning attitude. I think his players rally around him. So I love all that. He can make plays with his legs. But can he throw the football well enough? He won't shrink from the competition. We saw that at Alabama. He came out shining after Tua took his job. So he'll be fine. And if he can't beat out Minshew in the long run, then guess what? He wasn't your guy. If he does beat him out, then he's better for it. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, but if you're looking for a vote of confidence for Hurts, this certainly wasn't it. Head up to Buffalo, where Josh Allen made his preseason debut Saturday in the finale. Picked up right where he left off last season. 20 of 26. 2 touchdowns, a win over the Packers, and even with the defending MVP right across the field, showers of MVP from Bills Mafia towards Josh Allen. Broussard, do you expect Josh Allen to be in the MVP conversation again this season?
Absolutely, in the conversation, not the favorite. The favorite has to be Pat Mahomes. Hasn't won it in a couple years. I think he's going to go out and get it this year. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Josh Allen. That's the conversation. Or maybe somebody else will jump in there. But those 5 should definitely be in the conversation. If Josh Allen isn't in the MVP conversation, then something's gone horribly wrong. This would be like Jason Tatum, Nick's favorite Celtic, not making the All-Star team. All right, it means that Allen has really fallen off. So, yes, he's got to be in the conversation. He's got great receivers. He's improving every year. He's got great work ethic, great coach. Well, yes, he'll be in the conversation.
Okay, Broussard, right back to you. How big do you want this conversation to be? Because we know Tom Brady's going to be in it. We know Russ is going to be in it. We know Aaron Rodgers is going to be in it. We think Matthew Stafford might be in it. It's like Derrick Henry will probably be in it. So, like, at what point does the conversation end? It's like your top 5 rappers. You're going to name 12 guys. Like, all right, at some point the conversation ends. I don't think he's in that first tier of MVP conversation. So how big is your conversation?
Yeah, my conversation's big. You made a good analogy with the rappers. You know, maybe 20 guys I named for the top 5. But no, look, he's got to be. I think he's after Mahomes. He's after Rodgers, Brady. He might be ahead of Wilson. So I'd say 4th. He's in the first, the main part of the conversation.
All right. It's Broussard's first day, so I really hate to just pile on him. But first of all, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs' name is Patrick Mahomes. His friends, such as myself, can call him Patty. No one calls him Pat. It really bothers his mother. So let's not make that mistake again. That's first of all. Second of all, Josh Allen, here's a prediction. Josh Allen finished second in MVP voting last year, criminally finishing ahead of Mahomes. That will be Josh Allen's highest career finish. He will never win a league MVP. He won't finish second again. That's going to end up being the best year of his career. But these MVP chants, once upon a time, I'm old enough to remember, Broussard, watching the NBA in the late 90s. And at the tail end of a season, one player on one team in one arena would get MVP chance. Usually it was Jordan. Occasionally they did it for Malone in Utah. It's the guy who was going to win league MVP. And now it has been perverted to, multiple guys on the same team get MVP chance from the same crowd. It's like, hey, Kyrie's at the line, MVP. KD's at the line, MVP. Every team does it. The damn fans in Utah did it for Gobert. Now it has polluted the NFL, where we're doing MVP chants in the preseason for a guy who didn't win it. Like, the MVP chant used to be a cool thing. Now it's like, oh, okay, if you don't get one, if you're the best, if damn Anthony Edwards doesn't get an MVP chant from fans in Minnesota this year, it's like, oh, things are in rough shape for Anthony Edwards. Nobody even chanted MVP. I hate it. It used to be prestigious. It no longer is, Jenna. It really bothers me.
Such a killjoy.
It's true.
And you hear the faint sounds down in Jacksonville, where they are, I'm sure, want to start chanting MVP to their new guy, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor dazzled in the preseason finale yesterday in Dallas, completed 11 of his 12 passes, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, said afterwards he felt really good. Nick, maybe he's in the conversation. I don't know. Is Trevor more likely to be a superstar or just a solid starter?
Oh, Jenna, the easiest question of the day. I don't want to make Luca jealous, but we are now talking about my large adult, thick-necked son, and he is a superstar.
Oh, come on.
He's already a superstar in waiting. And here is something interesting I thought of when I was looking at this. Because I think in 3 years, the 3 best quarterbacks in football are going to be Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. All AFC guys. Look at the young quarterbacks. In the AFC, you have those 3 I just mentioned. You have Lamar. You have Baker. You potentially have Deshaun Watson. You have Josh Allen if you love him. Who are the potential future star young guys in the NFC? Maybe Kyler? I guess we'll see on Trey Lance and Justin Fields. All the young quarterbacks that we think have proven something and are en route to stardom are in the AFC, Broussard. It's a shame none of them will ever get to go to a Super Bowl because they have to beat Mahomes to get there. But still, I think Lawrence is a no doubt about it superstar. I thought that coming out of high school, college, and now headed into his rookie season.
I love him, superstar. And that's a risk because there's no sure thing at quarterback in the NFL. But I love this kid, and I do think he's going to be terrific. But, Nick, maybe I missed this when I was in the green room prepping for an NBA segment or something with you. But what's this thick neck stuff? All right, what's that got to do with him being a superstar?
Yeah.
Did Tom Brady, Joe Montana, did they have thick necks? I mean,
Montana, I couldn't tell you. It was a different time, different nutrition. Nah, to be honest, it's one of the reasons Brady needs to be bailed out by the refs so often. But you look at the stars across the NFL. Look at Mahomes. Look at Lamar. Look at come on. When you know, you know. This is like a wingspan in the NBA. Please. It's like wingspan in the NBA. I want to know your collar size. What's up, Wild?
It's not.
What's the problem?
And just for the audience, if people think this is a bit for TV and he doesn't really think this, we did this on the show last week, and then I got a text from Nick. So, maybe it's something interesting about the show development or Broussard coming or something. Nope. This is true. It's just a picture of a quarterback with the text, look at the size of this guy's neck. I said, okay, I'm on my personal time. This is a real thing that he loves. You got blocked after that. That's why I haven't responded to any
actually think the text said, look at the neck on this guy. I think that's what it said. Look at the neck on this guy. It's true. Listen.
Let's see if there's any correlation. So Nick says Trevor is the baby goat. We got to talk his goat elder, Tom Brady, small neck Tom Brady. Is he still a top 5 player in the NFL at age 44? To be discussed next. First things first. On Saturday, college football takes over Fox. First, it's the big noon matchup of the week. 19th ranked Penn State taking on 12th ranked Wisconsin in a Big Ten showdown. Then the nightcap, 8:30 Eastern. 16th ranked LSU Tigers face UCLA. All the action starts Saturday at noon on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Time for stories to start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. So the NFL Network came out with their list of the top 10 players in the league this season. So at last count, 1,696 players to choose from. Here are the 10 best according to the players. Take a look at this list from 10 to 1. We got Josh Allen, T.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, Tom Brady at number 7. Then you got Devontae Adams at 6. And your top 5 has Kelsey, Henry, Rodgers, Aaron Donald. And for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Mahomes at number 1. Nick, Wright, what was your biggest takeaway here?
Well, I think my biggest takeaway is, thankfully, our long national nightmare of lies and obfuscation is over. It's been a long time coming, and a lot of denialism about who the best player in football actually is, because last year, the best player in the league was somehow not number 1. In fact, he wasn't 1, 2, or 3. And the year before, he was not number 1. He was not 1, 2, or 3. Kept coming in old 4th place. And that's Patrick Mahomes. And so now the most talented player in NFL history, the most gifted quarterback in NFL history, has taken his rightful place atop the mountaintop by his peers like, yeah, I know he was brutalized and beaten down in the Super Bowl, but to misquote Drake, he's top 2 and he's not number 2. So that's my first takeaway is Patrick Mahomes got the top spot and he will live there for the better part of the next conservatively, we'll call it 12 to 15 years. My second takeaway, Broussard, is I applaud the players for not overreacting to Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl. Because I had Brady 10th, but I also did, when I hosted the Herd on Friday, I did a prediction about where guys would finish. And I thought the players would have Brady 2nd. I thought the players would say, well, we've got to have him above Rodgers. He just beat Rodgers in a conference championship game. And I think 7th is fair. It's a little high for me, but not too high. And I understand that Brady keeps winning, but I don't think anyone actually thinks, Broussard, he's better than Aaron Rodgers. And obviously, he's not better than Patrick Mahomes. And so I think the players, for the most part, got this right. Some small arguments, like I would have liked to see Fred Warner and Jalen Ramsey in there. I think that Nuke Hopkins is better than Devontae Adams, but now that's really parsing. On number 1 and on where they got Brady, I think they got it exactly right and mostly right.
As you often do, Nick, you mixed truth with error. Okay, you're right on Pat Mahomes. Wow. That is true. He is the best player in the NFL and has been since he became a starter, right? I'm with you wholeheartedly on that. Glad the players finally got it right. But your disrespect of Tom Brady is just baffling. At number 10, I am going to put Tom Brady on this list. Even the players who were better than you got it wrong. He needs to be number 3 on this list. I wouldn't have been mad if he was number 2, but I get it. Aaron Donald is a fantastic defender. He dominates on that side of the ball. Okay, fine. But Brady should be 3, and Aaron Rodgers should be 4. Now, a year ago, I would never have said that. I was with you. Rodgers is better. But the fact that Brady, in the critical moments, in the big games, he's better than Aaron. Aaron is a different quarterback in the big moments than he is throughout the regular season. He just is. That's why he's lost his last 4 NFC title games. In his 5 NFC championship games, Nick, Aaron Rodgers, who never throws interceptions in the regular season, it's phenomenal, his TD to interception ratio. But in the NFC title games, 9 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's a different guy. If he didn't have that one championship from a decade ago, the Super Bowl, he'd be the James Harden of the NBA. Because he's good and sometimes in the big moments, and he fizzles sometimes in the big. I'm serious. And I like Rodgers. I got him at number 4. But I got to put Tom Brady, even at 44 years old, ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Nick, let's not belittle what Brady just did. He went to a 7-9 football team. Now everybody wants to rave about the Buccaneers. Oh, look at all the talent. They got this, they got that. Hey, we're 7-9. They had not made the playoffs in a dozen years. Their coach had made the playoffs twice in 7 seasons. Antonio Brown, everybody's raving. Nobody wanted him. Brady controlled him. Gronk, he was retired. All right. Leonard Fournette, the worst team in football, cut him. Scotty Miller, whoever heard of Scotty Miller before Brady? He goes there, he galvanizes the locker room, he makes them believe, and they win a Super Bowl? He's number 3, Nick. I'm with you on Mahomes, but the truth and error, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Listen, that's why he's better than, about 680 guys in the league, but he's not better than Aaron Rodgers. Now, Wilds, Broussard, on the Rodgers NFC Championship stuff, Broussard does make a compelling argument. And if you're a Packers fan, you do probably look to last year's championship game and say, man, if Rodgers just hadn't thrown those 3 second-half picks, maybe we would. Oh, that was Brady. That was Brady who threw 3 second-half picks and once again got bailed out by his team. So, don't give me Brady keeps winning when against Rodgers in the conference championship game, after they had a huge lead, Brady did everything he could to blow it. And LaFleur's decision-making on the 4th down, Wilds, and then the Bucs defense bailed him out. So come on, Rodgers better than Brady. Even you, a Brady fan, knows it, Wilds.
Look, Rodgers is great, and as Coach said, you don't need to blow someone else's candle out to make yours shine brighter. But I have an issue with something you said earlier in the show, because I think Brady not only brings it on the field, but is also a force multiplier for what he does in the locker room. The Super Bowl video that the Bucs released, all the Bucs were like, Tom Brady gave a speech like Daniel Day-Lewis, and he got us ready to go. And the reason why the Bucs are not going to falter this year is because Tom Brady's leadership will affect the offense, the defense, special teams, and the coaching staff. He's going to make everybody better. And then your response to like, yeah, that's included because he's not that good on the field anymore. I was like, huh? What? That's not true at all. Here's the thing. I think he's been such a great intangible leader that we're downplaying just how good of a raw statistical year he put up. He had the 2nd most completions, 3rd most yards, 2nd most TDs. Patrick Mahomes is amazing, and I don't think anyone's going to debate that Patrick Mahomes is awesome. Tom Brady threw for about 100 yards less than Patrick Mahomes. Also for the 16 games, 15 games. But regardless, we know that Patrick Mahomes is great. Tom Brady is also great. I'm just saying I want Tom Brady in the upper half. I want him top 5. That's it, top 5.
Okay, but you want him in the upper half of the top 10 is what you're saying. I am not arguing that Tom Brady is a league average quarterback. But as far as the numbers go, he had a far inferior year to Josh Allen, and I've got Tom Brady ahead of Josh Allen. He obviously had a far inferior year to Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers is better. And Broussard, and I want it back once you're done quickly here, that for one game to win the Super Bowl, I get why you'd want Brady. But over the course of a year, don't you agree Rodgers is better?
He's going to be better in the regular season. But in the playoffs, give me Tom Brady. 2 years ago, Brady led that weak Patriots team with no skilled stars to 12-4 record. I mean, Brady gets it done, Nick. It's simple as that.
And a loss to Ryan Tannehill throwing pick 6 to lose that playoff game. But quickly, before we finish, I just want to say something quick about the show. Because if you weren't tuning in at the very beginning, Chris Broussard is our newest full-time co-host. On a personal note, Broussard and I have been kind of dancing around each other professionally for the better part of 6 years since we met in an airport in Newark, New Jersey a long time ago. I've had great partners on this show. I still have great partners on this show. This is going to be the best version of this show we've ever done. I am so thrilled, and we are so lucky to have Broussard on board. I could not, the moment we found out Brandon was leaving to do his other ventures, I begged them to make it happen with Broussard. I'm so glad we got it done. Can't wait for football season, Jenna.
Thank you, brother.